Hello everybody and welcome back to Memoriapolis, where we are currently working on getting additional workers. And one question that I have, if we go into these cultural buildings, right, we can see it from here, I think, slightly better. So one of these gave us a know-how that increases the amount of minimum and maximum migration by 1, right? My question is, if we built more of these, would this further increase the minimum and maximum migration? Skills enable the application of exclusive effects and are learned through the various cultural buildings. So the question is, can we get a second level of know-how here? That's the question that I have. How many hostile dues do we have built right now? We have 2 built right now. So I think that means we can answer that question. So if we go into here immediately, we can see, and we can actually turn on this. Construction time minus 10%. That'll be neat. That's fine for now. But if we check in here, yeah, so I think we can only get 1. This effect is either active or inactive. So that's good to know. I would love to be able to build more of those, but alas, I don't think that's actually going to be a thing. Now, we do need a master builder's office, but we need a lot of workers to get all of that done. No doubt about that. Workers is by far our biggest struggle. I thought that it was going to be blueprints, because it says in the tooltip that it's extremely important. Blueprints feel a lot like how, it feels an awful lot like how influence in Stellaris works, for example. But it's actually not the primary constraint. Workers are, at least for now. So that's definitely noted. They want us to build a guild. How many workers would that end up being? 108? We can't pause this belfry. No, I don't want to be up here. I want to be up over here. We could pause this. Build a guild. Do we have a guild built already? Let's see here. No, we've not built one of these yet. Okay, so that's understood. These are quite large, so we would like to build it, ideally, like, I don't know, up over here would be kind of funny. We could build it up over this direction. Sure, let's do that. Passive generation of trade routes, +1 gold coins. Okay, that's neat. So what are we lowest on at this point? Well, in these 3 categories. The answer is esteem. So we'll put that in. But we need to, of course, deal with our deficit of workers, right? We've got a big worker deficit. Really, really big worker deficit. So this is 90 workers. This is 122. So we're going to get this restored very soon. And that's absolutely understood. We're going to be finished here, and the question is, the workers that are mobilized for this, for the ramparts here, are those going to be working in it after the completion, or are they only for the construction? That's an interesting question, because if that's the case, we're going to have a big worker influx relatively shortly. So that would be great. Are we net positive on food? Oh yeah, we're very net positive on food. No problem there for now. So that looks good. Back up over this direction, we're going to be turning the ropery back on here in a little bit. So we need 90 workers for that. We've got 80 right now. Sounds good. So we're going to be finishing this up fairly shortly. But the real interesting thing that we're going to be finishing is this. I want to see if we get those workers back or not. That's going to be fairly important. Okay, so I want to resume this as soon as we can, which is right now. There we go. So we're now getting a bunch more of these satisfactions. And we can see here, yeah, we're still lagging behind in satisfactions. That's for sure. We're working on it. We're trying to get there. So that'll be fine. We have this finishing up in 2 cycles here. And of course, we're going to need 122 workers here. So this is now done. That's great. And yeah, that didn't really move the marker all that much. We're okay on our health. so that's good. Food consumption minus 15%. And this is going to help both health and safety. So that's great. But we need a lot of everything at this juncture. Mostly, though, that just means workers. We need so many workers. Yeah, demolishing these ruins is not actually useful for us. The only thing economically at this point that is at all useful for us, the only thing, is workers. That's the only thing. So we've got 2 cycles here. Let's see if we get a worker influx here. We're at 26 now. 81. Beautiful. Okay, so that means that those are temporary. I like it. So that dropped down our safety requirement, but we're not high enough yet. That's understood. We're going to have enough to get this done shortly. 122 to get that back online. And then we just need to build up another big set of workers. So looking through here, we can build a ropery. Oh, right, 90. Sure. So we've built most of these, I think. So let's see here. The way this scrolls is very strange, but there we go. Built 2, built 1, built 0, so we need a Portus. Okay, Giovanni Giustiani has answered your call, and above all that of the rewards promised by Constantinople, he's assembled over 700 mercenaries. That's not a lot. And 2 ships to help the city resist Ottoman attacks. The Sultan responds with magnificent cannons. The final assault is underway, but the support Constantinople had requested from the Pope and European cities is slow in arriving. You have 2 choices: sabotage the Sultan's cannons and poison his armies, or betray the Byzantines. They'll never see death coming from behind. We're going to support Constantinople. We like the little guy. Okay, so that seems fine. I really do want to build a Portus, and we're going to need to get a lot of workers for that. No doubt about that one. So we're going to get this back online as soon as we've got 122 workers. But man, these worker counts are insane. There's just so little that we can do because of how many workers we have to put in. Like, I would be building ancient era buildings, cultural buildings at this point. And that appears to be the strategy that I would pursue later on, is just build tons of ancient era cultural buildings and then and get way ahead on the culture. And then in the medieval era, kind of back off on that a little bit and focus more economical. It's kind of strange, but sure. So we're going to get this back online now that we've got the workers. There we go. So everything is online now, and we can accept this. That seems fine for the moment. Excellent. And I believe that there is another know-how that we could turn on, right? Yeah, so these were turned back off. We could turn on Watermark, and we only have 18 slots. So we can choose that or Line and Virga, but we're not constructing. We're waiting for workers to come in. So why have construction speed go faster when we don't have workers to work in them anyway, right? That would be the overall thought there. Obviously, we can't import, like, slaves or anything. That would be an interesting thing to be able to do, but that's not a thing that is possible, it would appear. Or just pay to import workers of some sort, even if you don't call them slaves. That would definitely be something that would be interesting to do, but alas, that's not an option at this moment. So we're currently at 6 workers. What's our next upgrade for our city center? We're getting close, actually. We need 600 gold for that, and we need 224 tiles. We're short on our tiles, we're short on our gold. Okay. So that is noted. We should probably do a little bit of trading for that. So that would be like 50 tiles. And then out over here, like 100 gold. There we go. Now we're still going to need more than that for both of those, but that gets us a lot closer, would be the idea. So that's fine. We're going to get this done soon enough, and eventually we'll have the population. Hopefully we'll have the gold by the time we have the population, right? Okay, so this quarry out over here is currently out of clay. We're going to swap it over for now to sand. But we don't really need sand, and we don't really need stone. So we could pause this quarry and allocate the workers elsewhere. For the time being, anyway. So that sounds good for now. As I apparently elbow my cup here. I will be right back. Okay, nothing too major there, just a very small spill. But that is now cleaned up, so that is absolutely wonderful. So, we definitely still want to build this Master Builder's office. I'm interested in finding out what these urban planning rules are. So, we'll save up to 112, and we'll get that built in before we have another faction request up over here. We'll see. We'll see. We really need to get this Master Builder's office built so we can see how this works. Town planning rules can be modified in exchange for a few culture points and modified districts. I don't really know what the value of that is. We really need to get more workers, which means more migration, right? So that is understood. So in this, we need 600 gold. Okay. So we're about 100 gold short right now. We just about have the population. We have the tiles that we need, so we should probably trade for like 100 more gold. Done. So we're still going to be gaining 22 gold coins every 5 cycles from this, so that'll be absolutely fine. Okay. So we've got the gold that we need, and as far as this upgrade goes, we have the coin that we need. So that seems good, too. And now we can get this upgraded. Perfect. So we'll get that going. 10 cycles on that. So our migration is currently between 4 and 7. We'll see if that goes up when we get this guy upgraded. Hopefully it does. If we check in here... Yeah. We're still behind on population satisfactions. We're trying to work on it, but it's rough. It's really, really rough. We need more workers. That's for sure. I wish you could build the buildings and then just not have the workers there. These guys want us to build a building. Of course they do. It's about that time. So what would that building end up being? That would be this? Duration of fires minus 20%. We haven't had any fires, so I'm not sure if that's actually necessary, but that would also take 112 workers. So I think for the moment, we're going to say no to that one. And we're going to build the Master Builder's office. I really want to see what these rules are. We now have access to more decoration buildings. Okay. I mean, these are fine, but they take workers. We really can't afford to get any of these built. We just can't. We don't have the workers. So that's understood. We're going to get the Master Builder's office built, and that's going to probably go out over here, would be my guess. We're actually lacking some bricks on this one. Interesting. We could get some bricks, most likely. That would be at Corinthos. Okay. So we're lacking a few bricks. We need 168. So that's noted. I don't know. Maybe we should build this guy, since we have the resources to do it. Potentially. How big is it? Yeah, we could put that up somewhere like over here. That seems fine. So this is going to be creativity. What else are we lowest on in these categories? The answer is belonging. Okay, so we'll get that going. That'll be fine. And now we need 112 more workers. By the time we have that, we should have what we need in terms of bricks and wood. So that should be fine. Ah, Constantinople actually didn't fall. Excellent. Dusk falls on the battlefield. No one moves. No one shouts. The last Ottoman is dead, and Sultan Mehmet II is nowhere to be found. The soldiers are stunned. Constantinople has once again repelled the invaders. But at what cost? Many lives have been sacrificed and resources expended to survive just one more day. Emperor Constantine XI graces you with his eternal gratitude. Regardless of past decisions, your city emerges stronger than ever. So we now get access to the cemetery. Okay. Sure. 128 workers for that. Oh man, those worker costs are so high. And I think that's just going to get worse as the ages go ahead. That's my theory. Well, we shall see. For the time being, we are working on getting the 112 workers for the Master Builder's office. We should be on pace to be able to get that this time, because we didn't have to pause anything up here. What is this? Ah, yes, the stables. Okay, sure. So we're not actually in a worker deficit at this moment. We are currently working on getting the Master Builder's office, but we're not in a worker deficit. We just need more workers. That's all there is to it. So we're going to get this built fairly soon here. That'll be done in 6 cycles, and that will boost up some of the satisfactions here. So 3 more cycles on that. Looks good. We definitely need a lot more satisfactions. Okay, 2, 1, and done. So there's some more satisfactions coming in here. But we're struggling on that. No doubt about it. We're remaining about in the same place here and here. Our faction power is as high as it should be. Our resource points, those are looking fine. No major issue there. So that's all okay. So we've got this. 168 bricks. We are going to have enough bricks very, very soon. We're going to have enough wood as well. Workers are the only thing that we're lacking, and that's been the story this entire era. So that's definitely a thing. So, oh, we have an expansion request over here. Yes, we accept that. But what I wanted to check in here... Yeah, this is just faction power. This doesn't have anything to do with migration rate. Okay. So yeah, the lack of migration rate there is definitely a little awkward. We can't demolish this rampart. That's understood. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to proceed forward here and just try to scrape together whatever we can. We can see that we're at 4 and 7 still here, so upgrading our medieval fortress doesn't seem to have helped that. 7750 is our next population marker. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine. We're missing some resources there, but we've got plenty of time on that one. The House of Grievances can now be built, and we know that we need that for politics. So we might want to, that's a service building. We might want to build this fairly soon as well. So we're going to unlock the House of Grievances. We want both of these. Question is, what do we want first? Because we have to make a choice, right? We want both of them, but we don't have the workers. However, we could get the workers. If we paused this, we can do the Master Builder's office right now. And yeah, that would go somewhere out over here. Looks good. And then as far as these go, we're going for belonging right now. So we would go for probably both esteem and creativity here. Like this. Then we can pause this guy up over here as well. This is putting us far into the hole on workers, right? We're going into a pretty heavy worker deficit here. That's understood. We are lacking wood, cut stone, and bricks for this. Okay. So to that end, we don't need any gold coins for a while. So here's what I'm thinking. We can trade for some cut stones. How many cut stones do we need? About 80. So we can get about 80 cut stones here. And we can trade in some wooden beams for that. I mean, it's not ideal. I think we're going to have to wait. So let's turn the Episcopal School back on. And then let's just save up the workers for the ropery, because we just don't have the resources right now to get the House of Grievances. We will get it eventually, but for now, we don't have them. So trading for the bricks later might not be a bad idea either. So that seems okay. Now this out over here, we're not too concerned about stone or sand. So I don't want to turn this back on just yet. This guy, of course, we need 90 workers for. And we'll see what the Master Builder's office ends up giving us. But we're definitely interested in getting the House of Grievances built very, very soon. So that's what the next set of workers would be slated for. But we don't have the resources to build it right now, so there's no point in taking the hit for that. So we'll just wait out the resources, and maybe we'll have the workers by then. We're almost certainly going to need to buy bricks, but they want us to build a dungeon. We're probably not going to do this. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be in a position to do that. But let's see what this urban planning system is. That'll be done in 3 more cycles, so that looks good. 2, 1, and ready to go. Okay, so this is the urban planning here. Select a district to start using the Master Builder's office. So we can destabilize this. We can affect the culture. I'm not sure I care about that. At least right now, this seems like kind of a waste. I mean, we get the satisfactions out of it. But that seems like a pretty low priority thing, all things considered. So we need 168 total bricks, right? And bricks are going to end up coming from here. So we'd need like about 100 bricks. We can trade for some sand, probably. So something like this would be a viable option. Done. So we'll do a trade there, and we're going to continue making our money via our trade routes, of course. But I just wanted to get our number of bricks up much higher, but we didn't need it to go all the way to the top, right? Because we need a lot more workers. The question is, do we want to go straight to the 112 and build the House of Grievances, or do we want to resume the ropery? Those are our choices. And the question, or rather the answer to that, basically comes down to how many bricks are we going to have when we have the 112 workers? And we can't really answer that. We're still a little bit short on our cut stones as well. So that is definitely noted. And our wood. We're short on wood too. Wood is not that big of a deal. We should get the wood fairly easily. But we're much closer on getting all of these together now. So that looks great. The number of bricks that we're going to need is 168. And the number of cut stones that we're going to need is 210. So we're a little shorter on our 210, or rather on our cut stones. And of course, the wood will get there very soon. For the time being, I'm going to enable the ropery. We can re-pause it later. There's absolutely nothing stopping us from doing that. Okay, so that seems relatively fine for now. These guys are going to be disappointed. That's understood. We're currently full on clay, so we can come down over here, and we can pause this clay production and let our clay drift down. Similarly, we can pause our stone production over here, and yes, that'll give us a bunch of workers, so that's a good thing. We're not going to get this dungeon built. It's just not an option. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. So that seems fine for the moment. We've got these paused, and this guy over here was on sand production. We're producing sand over here, so for the time being, that's reasonably fine. We determined there's no real reason to expand this either, so that seems okay. So we're at 72 workers, now 74. That seems very good. So we're working our way up towards 210 here, and our number of bricks is getting very close, actually. So at this point, we're saving up to 112, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to see about getting our politics for the medieval era unlocked. This is so slow to get the workers, no doubt about that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.